Okay, as far as the air fuel controller hookup, if you had the harness plug hooked into the ECU, it would look like this. So basically, looking at the picture I'm going to provide of the ECU pinout, you would take the plug and you would lay it down to the left, where the bump on top would be taller than the bump on the bottom. It's got two bumps on it, one on top, one on the bottom. The one on top is going to be taller than the one on the bottom. As you can see, the one on top is taller than the one on the bottom. So as long as you got the taller one on top, that will be the top. You can go off the ECU pinout that I'm going to provide the picture for. Okay, the first thing we're going to hook up on the air fuel controller is the MAFS signal input from the MAFS signal. So you actually take the white wire on the ECU, it's number 16 pin, it's a white wire, you cut that wire in half. So you will actually have two wires, one on the ECU side and one on the harness side. And on the white wire towards the harness is the one that's going to hook to your white wire on your air fuel controller. The other side of the white wire on the harness is going to hook to the yellow wire on your air fuel controller. So basically it's tying in the yellow and the white wire from your air fuel controller from the white wire you just cut in half on the harness. Okay, the next wire on your air fuel controller is the gray wire. We're going to tie that to the white wire on pin number 20. It's the TPS wire on the ECU harness. What we're using to connect these is a tap and splice connector. Basically put both the wires in it and clamp it down. That's the way we're doing ours. You can use whatever you like. Okay, the purple wire on the air fuel controller goes to pin number 27 on the ECU harness, which is a white wire. Our wire is faded, so it does not look white, but it is white. It's number 27 pin on the ECU. It's the knock sensor. We're going to use the tap and splice connectors. All you got to do is just slide the uncut wire in on the front side. It goes all the way through the connector. And the cut wire goes halfway through and butts up to the wall. And then you smash the metal pin down with whatever, and it locks it down. You do not have to install the knock sensor if you do not want to. You do not need that to get it running. You want to make sure all the wires are in there before you go to smash it down. Smash it all the way down. And when you're done smashing it down, take the lid and flip it over and lock it down. And that's how that works. Okay, on the air fuel controller you have the green wire. It's going to pin number 3 on the ECU harness, which is a yellow wire with a red stripe as your tack signal. On the air fuel controller you have the red wire. It is going to pin number 47, which is a black wire with a white stripe on the ECU harness. That is your power wire. Next is the black wire on the air fuel controller. Goes to pin number 39 on the ECU harness, which is a black wire. But on this wire here, the black wire on the ECU, you're going to have two taps on this one. The black wire on the air fuel controller is going to be further away from the ECU. And then next is going to be the brown wire on your air fuel controller. It is going to hook to the exact same wire, but it's going to be closer to the ECU. Let me get you a closer shot of that. Okay, that one there is the one that's closer to the ECU, and that one there is the one that's further away from the ECU. Okay, we're going to cut our switch on and set up our air fuel controller. Just turn it to ACC, do not turn the car on. You will hear that beeping because it's our oil pressure gauge. First thing you want to do is go to eccentric, sensor type, hot wire. For the Z32 MAFS, you want 2 in, 5 out. Sensor cowl, 1 in, 1 out. Car select, 4 cylinder with the arrow pointing up to the top right there. You want to do a sensor check. You want to take your gas pedal, press it down, let it off. As you can see, we're not getting any throttle signal. I believe our TPS is bad on this car. You want to go to settings, your high throttle, turn every RPM range down to -25% just to start off with. It's going to run rich, and you can tune it later, but you want to start off with -25%. You want to go to low throttle, do the same thing, turn all the RPMs down, the whole bandwidth to -25% on all of them. Then after everything's set, you should be ready to start your car. You want to cut the switch off and cut the switch back on, and everything should be saved. And it's all saved. If you're hooking the air fuel control up and you're using the stock MAFS, it's 6 in, 6 out. You can set all the high and low throttle RPM ranges at 0